Hello, welcome to our Amerex Connects webinar series. Today's session was designed to help you generate business through the kitchen protection industry. Today we have a panel of experts ready to share lots of great information with you. We've got Jamie Knowles, who is the KPIS sales manager, Jacob Johnsey, who is the KPIS product manager, Derek Bryant, who many of you probably have had calls with on helping with technical information, our applications engineer, and then David Rice, who oversees our training and continuing education. We'll start our session today with Jamie Knowles.
All right, good afternoon or good day, everyone, depending on where you are in the world. Susan, you can see my diamond?
Yes.
All right. Just as soon as I get this straight, we'll be in business. All right, and my title screen now?
Yes, it's working perfectly.
Outstanding. Okay, now that we've got our feet wet, and she's made our introductions, I'll move into the restaurant market. As everyone knows, 2020 and moving into 2021 has been extremely difficult for the restaurant market across the world. We've had obviously shutdowns from COVID-19, real challenges for restaurant owners, restaurant OEMs, manufacturers, trying to support the restaurant industry. And we know that the restaurant industry is poised to lose about $250 million or $1 billion in 20 and 21. We know that it's lost about half of that. And will it lose the full $250 billion? We're not sure. It depends on how long the pandemic lasts. But what we do know is the longer it lasts, the harder this is going to be on restaurant owners, without a doubt. So how has the market survived, and what are the different parts of the market that we might be able to take advantage of? Fast foods or QSRs in the market are still building stores. They took a hit in 2020 where they stopped building or paused building stores due to shutdowns, but they got right back on their feet and started building stores in the third and fourth quarters of 2020. We expect that to stay very strong in 2021 and continue to move forward. Ghost kitchens are a trend that has taken hold during the pandemic, and we expect that to accelerate through the pandemic and be to be a larger portion of the market afterwards. If you're unfamiliar with a ghost kitchen, it's a warehouse in a downtown area that will have between 25 and 50 kitchens in it, and it will work with some sort of delivery services or multiple delivery services to deliver multiple menu concepts out of one small location, servicing a large area for delivery. And that is certainly a trend we're seeing. Brand loyalty. Brand loyalty is up in the air for these restaurants. For all of these chains and restaurants that you're used to, their customers are pausing and saying, are we loyal to the same kinds of brands we used to be loyal to? Or in the pandemic and in the new world, do we need to be loyal to brands that allow for drive-through, that allow for outside dining, that allow for delivery? So each restaurant chain or concept is reinventing themselves going into 2021 and trying to find the best way to service the market now and after the pandemic. Independent restaurant owners have been hit the hardest. The big corporations and chain stores will survive. They have some wherewithal, but the small independent restaurant owners who work on small margins and work in a small regional area have struggled the most. What we're hearing from them is they're all pivoting. They've pivoted towards new concepts. They've pivoted towards delivery. They've pivoted towards takeout. They've changed their menus and simplified their menus, bringing down their food cost. What you should expect out of restaurants that are independently owned in 2021 and 2022 is a lot of retrofit business. A lot of them revamping their menu, therefore their appliance lineup, therefore their hood, and their fire system to adapt to the ever-changing and new world. Long cycle jobs, the big ones like hotels and convention centers and stadiums and things of that nature, those seem to be marching forward nicely. I think the ones that were in planning concept have taken a pause and they're waiting to see what the new world looks like. But for the most part, that business has been very, very consistent and continues to push forward. We have a new product manager in our midst. Jacob Johnsey has been with Amerex for 6 years and is taking over the position of product manager, and has been doing that transition for a couple of months. So having said that, Jacob, if you'd like to jump on board and show everyone the different documents we've got here and introduce yourself, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, hey, good afternoon, everybody. First off, just really want to thank you all for taking the time to be a part of this webinar and being part of the team with kitchen products here at Amerex. You know, I know that everybody's really busy. You probably have a lot of pressing things on your schedule, so we're just glad that you took the opportunity to meet with us, and we don't want to connect with you. And like Jamie just did, kind of give you the direction of where our product line is heading, you know, how we're focusing on success in the future. And also what I'm going to get into for you right here is to show you some of the resources that we've made available to the team. So first off, let me share my screen so you guys can see some of these resources.
I'll stop sharing.
Thanks, Jamie. Didn't want to have to fight you for it. Okay, so the first one is a quick 2-page, but it's very effective at letting customers know what types of options they have with Amerex. So if we look at what types of coverages we have, a lot of you already know our 2 main coverages are zone defense and appliance specific coverage. So obviously zone defense is a super adaptable coverage that allows a customer to be able to have some movement within their appliances. If they need to rotate and move their lineup, this is a really great option for them, because if they put ZD, zone defense, into their restaurant kitchen area, they're not going to have to worry about redoing their piping, which we all know is a huge expense anytime there's a change up in a kitchen. The second option is appliance specific coverage, which is very straight up name. It is a specific coverage for all the appliances in the kitchen. Now, if this is a kitchen where the appliance layout and lineup rarely change, this is most likely going to be your most economical system. And on our second page, we lay out the 3 different detection and releasing control panel options: our MRM, our PRM, and the electrics, or what we call the strike systems. They provide a variety of options and price points depending on what your customer needs. This is a great 2-page tool to kind of give an overview of what Amerex has to offer. All right, the next thing is our retrofit. So this is a really good hitter if you're trying to spec out a job where you're going to be retrofitting with an existing system. So first off, the detection brackets are the same or slightly larger than most manufacturers. So most of the time, that's not a great thing whenever you say, hey, our product is a little bit bigger. Sometimes maybe that's a problem. But for this, if it's bigger, then that means that you guys get to avoid having to go to the hardware store and buy the elusive conduit stretcher. My dad was an electrician, and he used to always kind of joke about the fact that every electrician needs a wire stretcher in his bag. So whenever they're doing a home run back to the panel and that wire's just not quite long enough, you need a wire stretcher so you can get it all the way there. We don't want you guys to have to worry about that with the conduit. So having these detection brackets slightly larger allows you to use the existing conduit that's there. Another big part that plays into the detection circuits, as well as the manual pull stations, is the pulleys. So our systems are listed with the CP5 pulley, which we all know is a very common pulley that's used out in the field. So that's an easy resource of existing system that's already there that can be utilized to retrofit on top of. The third one that I'll just kind of touch on here is the gas valve. So we're listed with multiple popular gas valves already. So there's a good chance that the gas valve that's already at that job is compatible and works with the Amerex system. The third document we'll get to, and this is a huge document, but this is a really good document. So I hope you guys have a couple hours. We're going to go just page by page. They're all 96 pages here to make sure. I'm just kidding, obviously. It's our parts book and component overview. So this does a great job of giving you just that, an overview of our entire systems, what goes into the makeup of all these. And obviously, a lot of you guys already kind of know this, but it just gives you a good tool to work off, especially if you're not working with anybody new within your organization, or if you're working with a customer that's not familiar with the fire suppression needs that they have. A great thing that I think that this adds capabilities to is just the fact that you can go to any of these components and see what that component looks like and see what the Amerex part number is. Because sometimes you kind of know what it is that you're trying to order or buy, but you need that part number to work off of, whether you're using our web store or our customer service. So let's say that you misplaced the nozzle caps. You go right here to nozzle caps. You're not sure which one you have. Here's 2 pictures. So you can obviously tell these are very different. So you can look at your specific job and know, hey, I need to order the 12334-PO101, P010, sorry. Anyway, so this is just a great resource for you guys to be able to utilize. Goes through all the components that are used with the KP and the ZD systems. And we really just wanted to make sure that everybody was aware that this is out there. It's just a great visual tool to help you kind of get through ordering process or any problems that you're having out in the field trying to identify parts during an install.
Perfect.
Lastly, I'd like to talk about our KP and ZD Project Estimator. So if you're like me, you probably enjoy Excel. You enjoy things that kind of automate the process to make things a little bit quicker. And that's really what we wanted to give with this document. Some of you may already be very familiar. Go ahead.
Could you share your estimator, please? They weren't seeing the document you had up before. I was sharing the component overview, and I just stopped sharing. So could you take over the screen and share your estimator?
Yeah, sorry. No, apologize for that. I did not realize y'all weren't able to follow along with me. Thanks for pulling the audible there, Jamie. And everybody see the estimator? Are you guys able to see that, Jamie?
I can now. Yes, sir.
Okay. Apologize for that. And thanks, Jamie, for helping me out. So yeah, this is a great tool for when you're going through and actually speccing out a full job. So let's say, we're going to go in here. We're going to say that, well, we know zone defense is a great option for kitchens that might be changed out. We're going to stick with our fusible links, click through and decide that, all right, maybe we've got to put on this first one of 9 feet. And then it goes ahead and starts populating our pricing depending on what we're selecting. Go over here and maybe I decide that I want to input the specific appliances that we're going to use. So even though we're using ZD, we could still say that, hey, we've got some specific appliances through here maybe that we want to add to this estimator. There's a lot of options in here. You can even go through and select, hey, our manual pull station needs to be this far away, 25 feet. So it just equips you with a tool that you can really take a detailed approach to the job that you're trying to build out. Make sure that you're kind of double checking, hey, I think this is what I would probably need. This is what my order should look like. Use our estimator. It's a great tool to just kind of back up maybe what you already believe that job to look like. Get everything put into here. And ultimately, the second page is the big part. This is what really drops in all of the needed bill of material for the job that you're speccing out. So that's what I've got. Really appreciate you guys taking the time to see these resources. We hope that this is a great tool for all of you to use. And I'm going to kick this over to David Rice and let him take over.
Actually, let me step in really quick. If you would relinquish your screen, I'll pop back up the PowerPoint real quick.
Sure.
And let me get us back to where we belong. Jacob, let me know when you see the resources documents page.
Yep, we're there, Jamie.
Outstanding. At the beginning of the pandemic, we needed to figure out what we were going to do during the pandemic to make our business better when we were not able to go out and touch everybody as often as we normally do or talk to everybody as often as we do. And we came to the conclusion that we wanted to make our documentation better and easier for our customers to use, have it help them in the market more, and give them better places to find it. So what you've seen with Jacob here is some inventive documents that are designed to help you with your presentation to your customers. We're happy to set up webinars with these, happy to set up lunch and learns with these, happy to help you train your sales team on how to use these documents. So having said that, I will go to the next screen, and Mr. David Rice will be coming in to tell us where you can find all of these documents.
Okay. And thanks a lot, Jamie. I appreciate that.
Do you have
My
your
name is
screen up,
David
David?
Rice. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Is your screen up, sir?
It is. That's perfect. Thank you.
All right.
My name is David Rice. I'm the Director of Training for Amerex. A lot of the people on the list, I'm looking at our attendees list, and I know a lot of you guys already. I know many of you have sat through my classes. I'll go ahead and issue an apology for that now, but nonetheless, they get progressively better. Now, as Jamie had mentioned just a couple of seconds ago, we did have to shift gears pretty rapidly at the beginning of 2020 when the whole COVID thing started closing everything down. And one of the things that followed suit with that was also a shift to online training. We took all of our standard certificate classes that we normally would do in person at various different times throughout the year and shifted those to a 100% online format. And that has been met with rousing success. In support of that, we've got a couple of different areas online that you can also access to get various different resource documents. So we're just going to start with a couple of these, and I'm in no particular order. I'm going to just show you a couple of them live real quick. So I'm going to jump over and share my screen with you real quickly. And
I stopped my share.
Okay, there we go. You should be seeing the and I'm going to put my headphones on so I can hear myself talk. You should be now seeing the amerex-fire.com site. Now, this is our standard outward-facing website, and of course, it is pretty much accessible to everyone. So if you have any interest in any level of information about any of our product lines, portables, if you need brochures, any type of marketing material, also MSDS sheets for our various different chemicals, all of these things can be found on the training website that you're seeing here. And as I said, it's not password restricted, so it's certainly open information for anyone that is interested in Amerex products. Another couple of pieces I want to show you that are restricted, but you certainly can have access to them, and one of which is the distributor login. Okay, the distributor login is what was formerly called the .biz. For those of you that have been around for a while, you probably would know this as the .biz site, and there's tons of information posted here, namely software downloads. Okay, just a few minutes ago, Jacob made a mention of our strike unit, our electronic detection, which does offer you also some programming options. And in order to affect those programming options, you'll need to have the interface. Well, the interface is provided to you free of charge through the .biz site. You simply click the software downloads, and the very first option is going to be the strike unit. Okay, in addition to that, you can also find information for our vehicle systems, and this would include all of the various different documents surrounding the vehicle system, the manuals. Also, there's going to be a number of different marketing pieces of material and so forth. As far as the portables are concerned, any of the portables that we manufacture and sell can all be found listed under the portable section, as well as detailed specifications and MSDS sheets for those different chemicals and those different configurations. Last but not least, since we are talking about kitchen systems, we'll go ahead and look at this one. And under the KPIS umbrella, we do offer product manuals, all of the manuals regarding any aspect of the industrial dry chemical and the kitchen systems can be found posted here. We always keep the most recent up-to-date documents posted here. So if you need a newer one than the one that you currently have, then by all means, you can certainly access it as a PDF. Or if you just would like to have it on your phone or your smart device or your computer, you can certainly download them there as well. Miscellaneous documents basically cover various different other letters of recommendation, different bits of promotional materials and so forth. Also free, absolutely accessible to you at any time. So that's just kind of a very brief overview of what was formerly the .biz. And as I mentioned, that is largely the providence of the company owners and basically the people who place orders and write the checks. So not everybody has access to the .biz site. Well, therein comes the next tab, which is the training center. Now, if you click on the Training Center link, it actually will take you to a page that looks something like, well, not that page. That was actually the wrong one. Let me jump over to this one. This is the landing page that you'll find on the training website. And it too is password restricted, so you do have to request access to it. But this one is set up specifically for certificate holders. And once you decide that you need access, you click the register button and you complete the form from top to bottom. Now, mentioned at the beginning, we have gone to online training, and part of that switch to online training also incorporates the online registration, which takes place through that same button. So just keep in mind, it will ask you about course information. And if you look towards the center of the screen, there's our online course schedule. So if you are coming up for recertification, or if you are new to Amerex and you just need to attend a certificate class, well, start here. This is where you need to start looking to find out which class is going to work best for your schedule. And we currently are alternating between Central Time and Pacific Time. So please take a second to look and see what your start time is. Once you have entered and you've completed the registration, then this is similar to what you're going to see. And since we are talking about kitchen systems today, we'll click on the KP link. And you'll see that it is not doing anything. Okay, that was really not what I had intended, but that's okay. We can make this work. Once you have your authorization, or excuse me, your access is authorized, then you'll see a series of links that correspond to various different pre-engineered systems. One of the ones that we're going to look at today, of course, is the kitchen system. And first thing you're going to notice is these are all the same manuals that we had posted on the .biz site. So under the distributor portal, you can retain or get those documents, but you can also get them here. Same thing. Most recent versions always available to you. Jacob had mentioned just a moment ago that component overview. Okay, we have a component overview document for kitchens, industrial, and vehicle systems. Well, this one happens to be the English version for the component overview. I cannot stress enough, put your hands on this document. It is by far one of the most useful documents that we've put out in quite some time. Down below that, additional resources, and then a series of videos. Now, the videos you find here are going to be somewhat specific to technical maintenance procedures and setup procedures and things like that. So these are not going to be of a promotional nature necessarily, but rather more of a technical nature for technicians. All right, now let me see if I can jump over to my next one, and I can't see this part of my screen, so y'all bear with me for just a second. But next one we're going to look at is going to be the McWane Pocket Engineer. Amerex is a portion of the McWane family of different companies, and you'll notice that we are included on their app. Now, the one that we're looking at here is the PC version, which you could download on your computer. And there's also a version for iPhone and also for your Android phones. Now, if you are interested in the smart device, you remember that document that I just showed you, which was the product overview. If you download that, on the third page in, you're going to find a QR code that you can scan that code and it will take you to the download for those two different apps. Just real quick, I want to look at this, and that is under fire suppression. Well, Amerex is the only company that is owned that does owned by McWane that does fire suppression. So we're the only option you have there. And then you can look either by products or by videos as to how you would like to see or what it is you're looking for. Under products, I'm going to go ahead and pull that one up, and you'll see the breakdown is by category, very similar to what we saw on the .com site. As a matter of fact, this information is pulled directly from our amerex-fire.com. Well, here's our restaurant tab. And I want to click this one and show you particularly a couple of things that might be of interest to you. Several of the different specification guides that have been mentioned throughout are also available here, as well as brochures and general information that you would actually share with a customer. And then right there is our KP manual. So if you're looking for an updated version of the manual, I've just shown you 4 different areas that you can find it. It's readily accessible for you guys. We want to get the information out there to you. So all of these resources are available at absolutely no charge to you. It's just a service that we provide to our distributor family give you guys as many levels of support as we can. Now, speaking of support, I'd like to next introduce Derek Bryant, who's going to also walk you through a couple of different levels on the support side. Derek?
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're enjoying our presentation today. I'm going to show you the Amerex web store to start out with. Give me just one moment to share my screen.
And while you're doing that, Derek, let me say a couple of things.
Sure.
Our endeavor here at Amerex over 2020 was to open source as much of our KP and IS information as we could. We want to get it out there and on as many platforms as we can, so that not only you as technicians and designers and company owners can have access to it, but you can share it with your customers. It's quite easy for you to go into a mechanical engineering firm and say, if they want more information about Amerex, they can just go on the Apple Web Store or the Google Web Store and get these apps, download them. They have all of this information at their fingertips. Not everything can be open sourced, but we tried to come as close as we could. So it made it easy for you. Derek, go right ahead, sir.
Okay, so right now you see this is the Amerex web store, and you get to this page directly from the amerex-fire.com website. And for those of you that are signed up through our web store, you can see any of our product lines there. So if you do not have a login, you can actually search for part numbers. So for example, I'm going to search for 13334, which is actually our KP375.
Hey, Derek,
Click it.
I don't think they can see your screen.
Oh.
I know I can't.
Let's see here. Let me do that again. Share screen. All right.
There you go, sir. That's
Can we
perfect.
see my screen? Everyone see my screen now? Okay.
We can, yeah. We have the KP375 up.
Okay. So the way I got to it, this is the web store page, and there's a little place where you can put in either a part name or a part number. And we'll do another one, 18001 MRM, something that everyone uses on KP systems. And you can see this forward facing without having access to the website to log in. But if you do have access, you can go to the login screen here and click login. Now you'll be able to see your price and the availability of this particular stock. So I can see that this MRM has a low availability stock right now in our trustful warehouse. And if you picked any one of those, you could go to it. Another nice feature is, so once you, let me go ahead and add this to my cart here. Well, doesn't look like it's showing me, so I'm gonna pick a customer to represent here for a second. So if you were Trinity Fire Protection, you'd see your cart has nothing in it. You go and put in your MRM. Then it gives you an each. You can add that to your cart. And then if you were done, you could go straight to checkout, or if you just wanted to see what was in your cart, you go to view shopping cart. And then you can see everything that you've added here. you can create your own templates. Say you have jobs that you're doing over and over again. Say that you always do a 10-foot hood. You could create a bill of material here, save it as a template, and then use that template for another time so that you could quickly pull it up inside the web store, check out. Some other features inside the web store are that you can actually use a PO, and you can actually see if you've met the minimum requirements to qualify for prepaid shipments there.
Nice.
I suggest any one of our domestic customers should be able to get a hold of that. I don't believe this is available for all of our international customers right now. But if you're an international customer, you can always call and talk to one of your international reps, and they'll be glad to help you out.
Outstanding. We're going to move on to the drawing programs now.
Sure will. So Amerex also has our AMCAD software, which is our drafting software that we use, that you can find inside the web store to purchase. And then we are also kind of open source a couple of different companies. So
Here,
Flash.
let me go ahead and stop screen sharing. I'll pull up the slide that shows the.
Sure.
Oh, actually, are you going to show the websites?
I sure can. I can do
And
that.
you just do that.
Good. All right. So for we have FlashSoft is one of our good partners, and
It's coming up.
okay.
Ooh, that's just your desktop, sir.
There we go. That's the one I want right there. All right. And they're basically an open source company that makes their own software that you can buy and download. And their website is flash-soft.com. And you can do your own system CAD drawings through this program. Another company that we use, you can use Fire Systems Drawings, and they're at firesystemsdrawings.com. They are a company that actually will help you through the process of making your designs, and they will send them back to you. However, just remember that they are an open source tool, so they rely on you to give them the correct information for your drawings. And they also do kitchen, industrial, and then this is just a little blurb that kind of shows you what kind of information that they give you that they want to see. They want to see like your floor plan, scale drawings, anything like that. And then you can see some sample drawings down here. But we'll leave that to you to go into their website.
May I chime in real quick, Derek?
Sure. Go ahead, Jamie. So
the idea with the drawing or submittal package platforms are that we're making it as easy for you as possible. When we talk to fire equipment distributors across the globe, a pain point for all of them is making submittal drawings and submittal packages to their authorities having jurisdictions. There are different rules for every jurisdiction, and it can be complicated for them. It takes up a lot of time. So we've set all of our Amerex KP information up with Fire Systems Drawings, FlashSoft, and we have it on our AMCAD program that is a CAD-based software. We wanted to make it as easy for you as possible to reach out into the market and use these drawing programs to get your submittal packages done and submitted to your AHJs. Having said that, if you work with a submittal package program or company that does drawings for you, and they're not listed here, please send them to us, and we'd like to talk to them about getting our Amerex KP information populated up onto their platform. The last thing I'd like to do with Derek here is introduce him as our technical services guru. So when you call into Amerex and ask for the technical services department for a KP or an IS product, Derek is our point man. He's the first one to answer that phone. If he's not on the phone, it'll pivot, or if he's busy with another customer, it'll pivot to myself or Jacob or one of our other technical services people to help you. So thank you very much, Derek. I appreciate your help. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and get back on the PowerPoint. Will you relinquish yours, sir?
Sure will. It's all yours.
Thank you. I believe that will get me where I need to go. Maybe. Oh, sorry. I have to do that again. Okay, can everyone see my David Rice slide now?
Yeah, we got you, Jamie.
Outstanding. All right. We've gone through Derek's. Now we're going to move up to this slide. Now I'm up to speed. All right, so now we have talked to you about the documents we've created to make hopefully your estimating and bidding life with our fire systems easier. We've shown you where to find all of those documents. And now we're going to talk about what you do with all of those documents. We're going to talk about the specifying process for getting a kitchen fire suppression system specified into a new restaurant. The key word to the slide up on the screen right now is the word partnership. Driving specifications is a partnership between a manufacturer and its distributors. We have some responsibility as a manufacturer to drive specifications out into the market for you. And you as an Amerex distributor in your region have some responsibility to grab a hold of that and work with your local mechanical engineers and restaurant supply houses and food service consultants to continue to drive those specifications, to take that handoff and run with it to drive more and more. So we're going to talk about a few different tools that Amerex is providing in order to do this, and different organizations that we're working with to do this. And then we'll go through the flow chart of the actual process of specifying a restaurant system and the pitfalls that you might encounter during that. After that, we'll open it up for questions to the group. Hopefully with about 10 or 15 minutes left, we'll have some time for questions. So the first thing Amerex is doing in order to drive specifications for you is we've built 3-part and 10-part specifications, and all of the documentation we've already showed you. Those are available on the website, on the web store, on the Pocket Engineer, in the distributor portal, all of those places for you to access them. And then the second thing we've done is we've signed up for a couple of platforms across the world. One of them is AutoQuotes, which is predominantly in the United States. And the other one is Specify, which is more in Canada and the rest of the world. But both of these platforms provide a platform for restaurant designers to build kitchens. It stocks the platform with all of the products you would need to build a kitchen, all the specifications, all the list pricing, everything like that that a kitchen designer would need to go and grab products to build a kitchen. So we are the only fire suppression system up on AutoQuotes and Specify right now. So if somebody who's designing a kitchen would like to pick a fire system, we're the one there. For some context, AutoQuotes is the most popular design software for kitchen designers and food service consultants in the world. It is used almost every day by a large portion of that group. So I'm going to go ahead and stop my screen sharing for the moment and pull up those platforms so that you can see them. Excuse me while I get my screen share straight. There we go. Okay, you should see my website, the Auto Quotes website up on your screen. Let me back up a slide. When a kitchen designer pulls up this platform, they can pick projects down here to the left that they have built. They can pick a catalog of products. They can go through the contacts, manufacturer setting history. They have a lot of different options. Where Amerex is presented is under catalog. So they would put in a catalog looking for a particular product. And when they do, it'll bring up all of the new products on this platform. All you do is search for Amerex. You could search for kitchen fire suppression, fire, any of those things will bring up our fire system. We have two different configurations in Auto Quotes and in Specify. One is the mechanical MRM system with zone defense coverages that you can see here. It's got a basic description of what zone defense is and how it works. It then asks the designer to specify the hood length, and they have to pick maximum 6 feet, or they can come down and get, when they do that, it'll show them a bill of materials for a 6-foot kit to cover a 6-foot hood. If you click on a different one, it will show you the 9.25, the 12.5 foot. But in all cases, it's showing the kitchen designer a kit that makes up a system that will cover 12.5 feet of hood in this particular case. And then it gives them the list price for that equipment. At that point, they will be connected with a find a distributor that can come over here on the right. Click find a distributor here. It will take them to the Amerex website where they can then select the distributor in that location to talk to about getting an RFQ out to them to bid the system. Also, the component overview is right here in a easy click for them to look at and see all the different configurations, see all the different parts, and then simply a picture of an MRM and how a system goes together. Remember, we're dealing with people who aren't fire technicians. They're food service consultants, so they don't always know our product. We wanted to show them some good basic pictures of what that is. So that is the mechanical system. We also have our Strike electronic control system with zone defense coverage set up on Auto Quotes as well. You hit the configure tab. It's going to show you the same kits and the same configuration we just saw above, but these kits are all populated with Strike electronic detection and control versus an MRM or a mechanical release. But you do the same exercise, click on 9.25, it'll give you the bill of materials, the list price for the parts. You can still show a configuration, so it shows the system. The component overview is there, and also find a distributor. So both of these platforms work similarly. I'm not going to show you Specify today, but they definitely work similarly. And between the two of them, we are, oh, let me do this real quick. Sorry about that. As soon as I get my screen shared back to where I belong, we'll be in good shape. Okay, so Specify and Auto Quotes are two platforms that we're now on to get our data out to people that are designing and building kitchens. The third line item on our slide here are the kitchen designers and regional groups for Fcsi. Fcsi is the Food Consultant Services International. They're a global organization, or Society International, I'm sorry. They're a global organization of food service consultants. We have a membership list for them, and we interact with them as we can. If you're serious about driving specifications in your region, reach out to your regional, if you're an international customer, to your McWane International salesperson, or if you're domestic, to your Amerex salesperson, and we can get you the kitchen designers that are in your area to work and to talk to. The restaurant supply houses are the companies that work in Auto Quotes the most. And this has been a weakness of ours in the past, in that we didn't have a great way to communicate with restaurant supply houses and their buying groups. Auto Quotes and Specify give us that opportunity. Most of the restaurant supply houses in the United States work in Auto Quotes on a daily basis and can pick their fire suppression now from that. Mechanical contractors. Mechanical contractors are an integral part of designing and specifying restaurant fire suppression systems. And in the next flowchart, we'll see where they fit in. Kitchen hood OEMs are the same way. They fit into this flowchart in a way that provides both opportunity and can create some issues for us. So this is how a kitchen specification comes about. It'll happen just a little differently in the different countries and different regions, but the skeleton of this, or the core of this, is the same. So an end user will first decide to build a restaurant. Once they've decided to build that restaurant, they need to go then put that restaurant down on paper. What is it going to be? How is the building going to be built? What is the cooking concept? What's the menu? All of that together. And they're going to hire an architect to start that design process. That design process will involve the architects reaching out to kitchen designers, food service consultants, restaurant supply houses on the left side of this flowchart. And on the right side of this flowchart, they'll be reaching out to mechanical engineers or in mechanical engineering firms and hood ventilation companies. So at both places, we have the opportunity to build a spec, or we have the opportunity to lose a spec. So we are influencing from the manufacturing level, the kitchen designers. We're hoping that you as a distributor will affect those kitchen designers as well. The Fcsi consultants we are working with to try and get our specs out to them through auto quotes and through their shows and trade shows. The restaurant supply houses are all set up now on auto quotes, so they will have an opportunity to use our product. On the right, the mechanical engineering firms can be more difficult to penetrate into. They're often responsible for designing all the mechanical ventilation in the building, which includes the kitchen hood. And therefore the fire system gets tied into that design sometimes. So I encourage all of you in your areas to find the mechanical engineering firms in your areas that are designing and building buildings, frankly, but specializing in restaurants, and develop regional, local relationships with these mechanical engineering firms. This is a place where a local fire equipment distributor can have a closer relationship and do a better job than a manufacturer on a national or international level. So once those designs or kitchen designs have been picked by the designers, the consultants, the mechanical engineers, the hood OEMs, the architect chooses that final design. And once they choose that final design, they're going to choose a general contractor, and that general contractor is going to send out RFQs. Right? They're going to send out requests for quotes for the entire kitchen. Sometimes they'll go to mechanical contractors. Sometimes they'll go to fire distribution. Sometimes they will go to hood OEMs, and sometimes they'll go straight to the fire equipment distributors, as I said before. So all of those are opportunities to both build a spec and lose a spec. So we, as a partnership between Amerex and Amerex's fire equipment distributors, need to be involved in every part of this process. This process may look different where you're at than we have right here on the paper, and that's okay. Our message to you is that we'd like to get involved with you to help you drive specifications for Amerex KP systems in your area, whether that's a country, whether that's a region, whether that's a state, whether that's a city. We would genuinely like to get involved with you to do that. Having said that, I guess we can open it up to questions. Susan, we've got about 10 minutes left. Did you want to handle the question portion, and then our group can all pop up their screens and answer as we need to?
Absolutely. If you'll look at the bottom of your screen in the Q&A section, you can submit your questions and we'll be glad to answer them. I know several of you had questions before the presentation, and Jamie and the team incorporated those into the presentation today as well. Jamie, I think there was a question about the availability of auto quotes, if it is international or.
Yes, so auto quotes is a platform that's available to kitchen designers or food service consultants. So it's not a product that's available to fire equipment distributors. But when the food service consultant or the kitchen designer uses the product, it will prompt them to reach out to the local fire distribution to get a quote for the labor portion of that installation. So it's not something the fire equipment companies can use, but it's something you're going to benefit from. If you would like to get a list of users for auto quotes or Specify or food or the Fcsi International, reach out to your local salesman. We need to do this in a little bit of an orderly fashion. Reach out to your salesman, make that request. They'll come to us. We have some large spreadsheets that we can break out and give you the people in your region to contact.
Great. It looks like we have another question. To test the system, do you need to make a discharge?
Not necessarily, no. In fact, the answer to that is absolutely no. In order to test one of our fire systems, you do not require a discharge test. There are procedures in the manual for testing the fire system and checking it out up front, and then how to service it and maintain it afterwards. None of those involve a discharge test.
And then one more here. How is the design and approval for low proximity range coverage?
We have an open project within our engineering department to develop new low proximity coverages. And we are honestly tomorrow having a meeting with UL to schedule them to come in and do some of this testing. So we understand that that's a more challenging portion of our system, the coverages, and that it's someplace that we need to improve upon. And we definitely are doing that right now. We have an open project working on it as we speak.
Great. Great. Well, it looks like those are all our questions for today. Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you to our panel of experts for taking the time, and thank you all for joining us today. We'll be sending a follow-up questionnaire on your thoughts on other topics you would like us to cover. We would like to host more of these and provide you all with the information that you want to hear. So thank you again for joining us.
Thank you.